Hey everybody, I'm Dizzy Hips. Welcome to the Dizzy Hips Show. We're going to do some beginning hooping now, and I just want to talk a little bit about hula hoops. So here's the kind I use. These are made out of pecs. I make them myself. Now the great thing about this is it's very fast. It's slightly heavier than Polypro per size, and it's very flexible, so it's practically impossible to break. And these are Polypro, or actually Marlex, which is just basically PEC stands for polyethylene cross-link. So it's just basically this head-and-stay polyethylene. Marlex is polypropylene with a little bit of polyethylene mixed into it to give it a little bit more flexibility, but not much. They're still going to kink. But they are more rigid, and a lot of people like Polypro because they don't have this kind of bouncing action. I like the bouncing action myself. In fact, I started out a lot of my shows like that, with using the spring. I do a lot of tricks where I'm bouncing it. So if you like to play around with that, there's a lot of stuff you can do with these that you can't do with these. But a lot of people just like the action that's with Polypro. Personally, I like to go real fast, and I like a lot of bounces, and I like to be rough with my hoops, throw them, bounce and catch them, hit them. So I actually can't use these because they just break. But for most of what you do, they should be, you should never pay more than like $4 or $5 because the tubing on Polypro is extremely cheap. So if anybody is asking more than $4 or $5 for them, they're making them themselves, then they're getting ripped off, or you get something's happening. This is a lot more expensive tubing. Now, one of the cheapest tubings you can get is this. And by the way, this comes just like the black stuff. This comes in pretty much every size. So you can have ½ inch, that's ½ inch, goes half, 5/8, 3/4 inch, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 2 inches. And so this here is PVC. Have you ever had somebody come up to you and say, "Oh, do you use the PVC hoops?" What they mean is the black stuff, probably, or maybe this. But this is actual PVC. And PVC is probably the heaviest, definitely the heaviest. It's just solid. I mean, it's just not gonna, it's rigid, but you're never going to break it just because it's so freaking solid. So, it's just practical and indestructible, but at the same time, we do a lot of reverses because that'll just bruise up your arms. I mean, you can do it if you're like training for Muay Thai or something. But if you do this a lot and you're not used to it, you'll be hurt. So I wouldn't do it. But this is great for if you're just working on torso tricks, bringing it up the body, for instance. Well, that's exaggerated, but bringing it up the body will be a lot easier with a hoop like this than with a little skinny hoop, okay? And then, of course, there's black stuff, which a lot of people learn on, and that's really easy to get. And that's really just polyethylene, it's just sort of a kind of dirty polyethylene. It's not very pure. This is a polyethylene, it's virgin plastic. And then, so polypropylene and polyethylene are both fairly safe for the environment. PVC is not. You want to get this from, like construction sites or something and reuse it. PVC is really not good for the environment. Polypropylene is not very durable. It's highly sensitive to sunlight. and temperatures. It doesn't get as jiggly in the heat. So if you're taking your hoops outdoors a lot, one good thing about Polypro is it doesn't get as jiggly as this. But on the other hand, Polypro, it will become brittle in summer time. So, it's up to you. Depends how hot it is where you are. Anyway, I'm going to use this here. And by the way, when you're measuring the size of your hoop, this is 31.5 inch hoop, and you always measure inside to inside, because that's the side that you're contacting with your body or your hand. So that's the only side that really matters is the hula hooper. And besides, this is the industry standard, so people will know what you're talking about. And if you say, if you're trying to order stuff and whatnot. And the only reason that sometimes people will sell you stuff that they call like a 30, they'll call it a 31 inch, and they measure from outside to outside. And the only reason they do that is to skimp on plastic, because it saves you just a slight amount every time they sell it that way, because it gives you a smaller hoop. But make sure that you know your size inside to inside. Otherwise, if you get it with a thicker, if you only know the outside diameter and you get a thicker hoop, even just 3/4 as opposed to half, that'll be an extra half an inch, and that'll mean that your actual hoop size that you have to do your motions in will be half an inch smaller, which can make a lot of difference. So always do inside to inside, okay? And then, because that way, because the inside diameter will not change whether you're tubing this an inch, inch and a half an inch, 3/4, okay? So that's probably the main reason why you should do inside to inside, okay? All right, now, so we're going to do the beginning